Hi friends, I'm here at the lake, kind of one of my favorite fishing spots to do a little fishing today. So this is going to be strictly a fishing outing, and just so that you know, I'm not going to publish this video unless I catch fish. So if you're watching this, I'm going to catch fish. Also in the thumbnail, if you saw a picture of me holding a fish, then I'm going to catch fish. I know in a video that I put out 2 or 3 videos ago that was about canoeing and fishing, it was really more canoeing. I did have a rod with me and I was attempting to fish, but I didn't catch anything. So this is kind of me trying to make up for that lack of showing any fish in that video. So hope you enjoy. So I'm going to be fishing a couple of different methods. I have my fishing rod and then I have my homemade fishing kit. You know, I don't always bring 2 fishing devices out with me, but if you're trying to increase your chances for catching fish, if you can put multiple baits in the water, then that just doubles your chance. So I'm gonna bait, here I've got some red worm. I'm gonna bait up my homemade fishing kit with red worm and go ahead and throw that out. I've taken the bobber off. I have 3 weights and I added an extra good chunk of worm here. I'm just gonna toss it out and fish off the bottom. My bobber is drifting a good bit and it's drifting pretty quickly, which is tough to keep up with. And so I'm just gonna throw that out. Now it didn't go far. I mean, you can see the ripples there. It didn't go far, but it's out there. It's possible that I might catch a small catfish or a little brim off of that maybe, but we'll see. In case you were wondering, I don't have a bell or anything attached to the homemade fishing kit, but I am using, and you may be able to see it, this is a high visibility line, so I am able to step away from it, but I can watch the line, and I just saw the line kind of tighten up a bit. And so I'm going to, doesn't mean there's a fish on there, but I'm going to just kind of check it, pull on it a little bit, and see. Yeah. There was definitely something near it. Nothing's on it right now. I am gonna leave that out there. It's not very far out, actually. No, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm tempted to reel it in since it's not that far out, but I'm gonna leave it for a few more minutes and just kind of keep a watch on it. I did set this stick on top of it just to help in case something did grab it and run. I would probably be able to get to it before it took the jar. Okay, just to show you what I'm fishing with here on the rod, I'm gonna do a little bass fishing to start off with. I may end up, if I don't have a lot of luck with that, I may end up switching this over to red worm as well. But right now I'm fishing with a Carolina rig, one of my favorite ways to bass fish, using a bullet weight, a red plastic bead, a swivel, and then a leader of line. And I'm using just a simple plastic spinner worm. This is gonna drag the bottom, but the leader allows it not to get hung. Also, the way that you rig up your hook means that it's going to bounce over obstacles, hopefully. So we're gonna give this a shot. Okay, so I fished a bit with the plastic worm, but no luck. I'm gonna switch it up, and what I'm doing is a little different. I've never tried it. I'm gonna leave the Carolina rig on for the weight, so I have a leader, but I've switched over to just hook and red worm. I don't know if this is gonna work, but now I'm bottom fishing with live bait. I'm gonna throw it out and leave it, and so now I'm most likely going to be catching catfish unless something else happens to see it. But I don't know, I've never fished catfish with a Carolina rig before. Don't know if it'll work, but I don't see why it wouldn't. So I'm gonna give it a cast and let it out and give it some time and see what happens. Okay, just got a hit on the rod. Feels like there's a fish on. Yeah, there's definitely a fish on. Let's see what we got. I'm thinking catfish. Not fighting super hard, tugging a little bit. Doesn't feel like a whopper. And it's not a whopper, but it's a fish. Off you go. All right, let's see what we got. Most likely another catfish. Not really pulling that hard. Actually, a little less fight than the first one. Yeah, about the same size as the first guy. Yeah, so there he is. I do use pliers, especially on these little catfish, just to avoid the sharp stingers on the side. I don't take my chances, especially with the small catfish, but not a bad little catfish. I'm gonna let him go, let him get bigger. All right, I got another one. My guess is probably just another little catfish. That's all right though, they're still fun to reel in. Yeah, even smaller. Even smaller than the first two. Oh yeah, ooh, I hooked him good too. Let's get him out. All right, I got one here. This one pulled pretty good right at first, but I don't think it's that big. Oh, fighting, got a little kick into it. Yeah, it's about the same size as my kind of first couple. Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd think that it was the same catfish. All right, I got a little something here. Whoop, on my homemade fishing kit. And I gotta hurry because I just got a hit on the rod. Wow, let me put this down and set this hook. Okay, wow. So I just hooked a bream here on the homemade fishing kit. My kit just rolled into the water. I can still retrieve it because it's on the line, as long as the fish doesn't get away. Let me reel this guy in and see if I can get my life together. Oh, he must have come off. That's a shame. It was probably another little catfish, but that's okay. All right, let's, okay. Now, this is where you can laugh at my expense. So, of course, the homemade fishing kit is a jar, and it is round, and it just rolled off the hill, and there's a cliff right here. And I can still retrieve it because it's attached, but I may have to wind out all the line to get it. In the meantime, this beautiful little bream here, unfortunately, has got the hook way down his throat. I'm gonna try to get him out first before reeling in my jar. I was able to get the hook out and he survived, so I'm gonna let him go. There he goes, he's off. Now, let's see if I can reel in my jar. This will be a mess to have to clean up. I'm gonna try to just lay my line down as it comes up. And I'll have to wind all of that line back on the jar again, but I'm just hopeful that I can get my jar back. And lost a jar. So, homemade fishing kit will have to be homemade again. So as you just saw, my homemade fishing kit bit the dust. I lost the jar. I do have all the fishing line though, and I'm happy about that. I mean, a jar is still litter in a lake, but I think maybe worse is having the monofilament out there floating around. So I do have all that. I'll take all that home with me, and it's not that hard to remake one. And when the water recedes, I very well may be able to go down and find that jar. It's sitting here on an embankment and typically the water level is way, way low. I've got usually 10 feet or so of bank, so when the water finally does recede, it may be there, and I'll try to find it later. I decided I'm gonna switch back and just finish the day out. I'm gonna be out maybe another 30 or 40 minutes. I'm just gonna finish it out with the bass lure. I've caught, while the catfish I've caught haven't been big, I've kind of caught my fill of them. I did catch a little bream, so now I'm just getting greedy and want to catch a different type of fish. So let's try with this bass lure again. Well, I think that's about it. I didn't come up with that bass that I was hoping to grab, but either way, you know, it's still a fun day fishing. Catfish and bream, even the small ones, none of them were keepers, but even the small ones are a lot of fun to catch. So maybe in another video, I can pull in that elusive bass. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, great week. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every bit of the support, and we'll see you next time.